All right, let's talk about AI, but I want you to forget everything you think you know about chatbots for a minute. We're diving into something way, way bigger, a truly revolutionary shift to AI that doesn't just talk to you, it acts for you. So what does that actually look like? Let's get into it.
And look, the stakes here, they are absolutely massive. We're not just talking about a cool new tech feature. This is a whole new economic engine. To put it in perspective, AI educator Nick Saryev called it a trigger for one of the largest wealth transfers in human history. Wow! I mean, that's a huge statement, right? So what is this technology, and how could it possibly have that kind of impact?
Okay, so it all starts with this idea, this really fundamental disconnect. It's a concept called the AI overhang. And honestly, this is the main reason why most of us, right now, are completely missing the boat on the real power of the AI tools we already have at our fingertips.
So what is it? The AI overhang is basically the giant gap between what these AI models are truly capable of and what the general public, most of us, perceives they can do. And believe me, that gap isn't just a small crack. It's a massive canyon right now. And this really lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got our perception. We see AI as a smart chatbot, right? It's a glorified copy-paste tool. It answers our questions, useful but limited. But then, you look at the reality. These things can be autonomous agents. They're systems that can actually take action. They don't just answer questions, they complete tasks.
So the big question is, how do we close that gap? Well, it means we have to get beyond the simple chat interface. We've got to stop thinking about AI as just a library of passive knowledge and start seeing it for what it is, a force for dynamic action.
I mean, think about how our relationship with information has changed over time. It started with documents, right? Books, papers, it was all static, one-way information. You read it, that's it. Then came the present, chats. Now we have a dynamic, two-way interaction. We can ask questions, get answers back. But the future, that's agents. And that's a dynamic, two-way flow of action. It's a huge leap.
And this quote just nails it. Most people are trying to drink the ocean with a tiny straw. That's exactly what we're doing when we limit these incredibly powerful AI models to a simple chat box. All that power, and we're just sipping at it. We're leaving almost everything on the table.
Let's look at the actual workflow difference because it is night and day. The old way, the chatbot way, is this painful loop. You think of something, you type it, the AI responds, you copy it, you paste it somewhere else. Ugh, it's so manual. The new way, the agent way, you just give it a direction, a goal, and the agent plans, acts, and completes the entire task, all on its own. It's a total game changer.
Okay, but this brings up a pretty obvious question, right? If these AI agents are so powerful, why isn't every single business using them already? What's the catch? Well, the answer is this huge, fundamental issue, the reliability problem.
Here's the core issue. AI brains are probabilistic. That's a fancy way of saying they work on probabilities, on maybes. They're creative and flexible, but they're not always predictable. But businesses need to be deterministic. They need things to happen the same way every single time. You need reliability, you need repeatability. You just can't run a company on, it might work this time. And that unpredictability leads to a really nasty math problem. It's called compounding errors. See, even a tiny chance of failure in one step of a process can multiply and cascade until the whole thing just falls apart.
Let's play this out. Imagine an AI task is 90% accurate. That sounds pretty great, doesn't it? I mean, 9 out of 10 times it gets it right. For a single action, that's not bad at all. But what happens when your workflow has, say, 5 of those steps? Watch this. That 90% accuracy plummets to just 59% success for the whole process. 59%. Your workflow now fails almost as often as it succeeds. No business on earth can run on that. It's a non-starter.
So, what do? We're stuck, right? We can't change the very nature of how these AI models think. Well, no. The solution isn't to change the AI, it's to build a smarter framework around it. A system that lets us have the best of both worlds. AI's creative flexibility and the bulletproof reliability of good old-fashioned code.
And the key to this comes from a classic idea in engineering and computer science: separation of concerns. It sounds complicated, but the idea is super simple. You don't ask a fish to climb a tree, and you don't ask a monkey to swim underwater. You just give the right job to the right tool.
And this thinking leads to a really elegant structure.
Let's call it the DO framework. It has 3 parts. First, D for directives. This is the what. It's you telling the system your goal in plain English. Next, O for orchestration. This is the who, or in this case, the AI agent. Its job is to be the brain, the planner. It thinks and decides which tasks to do. And finally, execution. This is the how. This part is just simple, reliable code that performs specific actions perfectly every single time.
And this table just makes it crystal clear. You see, we let the AI do what it's amazing at, things like routing and judgment, understanding natural language. It handles the fuzzy stuff. But for anything that absolutely positively has to be perfect, like API calls, math, transforming data, we hand that off to deterministic code. So the AI is the manager, the thinker. The code is the reliable worker. The AI thinks, the code does. Simple as that.
So when you put this all together, what you get isn't just a slightly better way to get work done. No way. This is a whole new economic paradigm. We're talking about something on the scale of a new industrial revolution. It's going to change not just how we work, but what our work is even worth.
Here's a great way to think about it. Back in the day, a seamstress made one shirt at a time, by hand. Then the Industrial Revolution brought the loom, a machine to automate that work. But did the seamstress disappear? Nope. Her job just changed. She went from making one shirt to supervising a whole fleet of looms. Her productivity went through the roof. Well, these agentic workflows, they're like digital looms. And the incredible part is, we can build and change them in seconds, just using our words.
And this brings us to this incredibly powerful idea called horizontal leverage. For years, the goal of automation was vertical. You try to automate 100% of one person's job, and that's really, really hard to do. The new goal, the agentic goal, is horizontal. Instead of trying to replace one person, you aim to augment, say, 90% of the tedious tasks for 10,000 people at once. And when you look at the numbers, it's just staggering. Let's say automating one full role creates 1 unit of value. Okay, fine. But if you make 10,000 people 90% more efficient at their jobs, you've just created 9,000 units of value. It's not even in the same league. This isn't about replacement. It's about amplification on a massive scale.
And that brings us all the way back to that massive wealth transfer we talked about at the beginning. Think of the global economy as a huge river of value. Money naturally flows through the biggest, most efficient channels. Well, Agent AI is basically a giant excavator carving out the largest, deepest new channels in that river that we have seen in our lifetimes.
So at the end of the day, here's where we are. We are standing at the very beginning of a new age of productivity. The tools are here, the frameworks for making them reliable are emerging, and the economic shift, it's not coming, it's already happening. So the only real question left for you, for me, for all of us is this. In this new economy, will you be building the workflows, or will you be replaced by them?